Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Game Patrol. I'm your host, Landon Plumley, and joining me once again is the magnificent, wonderful Trace Griffiths.
Hey.
Yeah. So, Trace made the comment before we started that when Bakel's here, Trace isn't. When Trace is here, Bakel's not. I promise there's no beef between them that I'm aware of anyway. But, yeah, Bakel couldn't make it this week, but hopefully we can get both next week. You know, maybe we'll have 3 people at one point. I don't know. We'll just see. But we got some fun stuff to talk about today, getting in the Halloween spirit. I literally... Oh, never mind. It finally, timed out. But I had... Saw 5 paused because I was watching it right before this, and so I've been watching a crap ton of horror movies, so I'm really feeling the Spooktober vibes. But there's my belch. But my little mini belt. I tried to contain it, but it just kind of erupted out of me. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about some games coming this week, in which we've got some pretty cool ones. So out today for Nintendo Switch and PC, Disc Room. Are you ready to get sliced in half? The year is 2089 and a giant disk has appeared in orbit of Jupiter. Step into the oversized spacesuit of a brave scientist and explore the sprawling intergalactic slaughterhouse. So, right off the bat, the premise is it's a little absurd to say the least, but gameplay-wise, this kind of looks like Enter the Gungeon or Binding of Isaac style type of gameplay. Looks really cool if you're looking for a neat new indie game, especially on Switch. I mean, Nindies are a huge thing for that system, and so you can pick that up today. And so, have you ever played any kind of like roguelites like Binding of Isaac, Trace? Anything like that? No. They're definitely interesting, but they're definitely a niche sort of thing. Not everybody is into them, although play Hades. So, next up, Transformers Battlegrounds is out tomorrow for PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch and PC. Bumblebee, this is emphasized, Bumblebee and the Autobots have a new commander, you. Assemble your squad and roll out for battle against the Decepticons and team up in local multiplayer. So, this game is very similar to, at least from what I see, it seems to be a more kid-friendly version of Mario vs. Rabbids, the game that came out on the Switch a few years back, which still hasn't gotten a sequel, and I'm shocked because it did really well. But it's a turn-based strategy game, seems to be, more kid-friendly. I know Mario vs. Rabbids was also kid-friendly, but the reason I say that is because it was actually fairly challenging. Like, it got pretty challenging, and so that's why I'm like... It was kid-friendly, but it was also kind of difficult. But, this seems to be another fun kids game if your kids are into Transformers or, Trace, this is a game for you. You got this, but...
I got this. I'm going to beat the game.
There you go, Transformers Battlegrounds. And so then on Tuesday, this is a game that I'm actually kind of excited for, and I'm like low-key debating picking up right on day one. Ghost Runner for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So Ghost Runner offers a unique single-player experience, fast-paced, violent combat, and an original setting that blends science fiction with post-apocalyptic themes. It tells the story of a world that has already ended and its inhabitants who fight to survive. So, it's hard to tell from this plot synopsis, but basically Ghost Runner is kind of like Cyberpunk Jr. Like, it's... My hype for Cyberpunk cannot be contained. And
I was going to say, I still feel like Cyberpunk's going to be a lot better.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to say for sure, because this could be a big hit.
Right, but it's been like hyped up so much since they said the release.
Oh, yeah.
When they were going to.
For sure. I mean, I'm hyped for it. Like, I'm going to be playing it day one. Like, I'm literally, like, if it is not one of the best games I've ever played, I will cry. But this is more like... We don't have Cyberpunk right now, but we're about to get Ghost Runner. And so it's one of those things that kind of tide us over a little bit, but it is a really cool Cyberpunk-looking game that some people got to play. They came out with a demo that I actually have installed. I've been meaning to play it, but I honestly forgot. And so I just haven't really had a whole lot of time to. But people love this game. Like, they're really excited about it. So that's one that I'm keeping my eye out. I need to play the demo and... actually get my hands on it and see if it's something I could be into. But it looks beautiful. It apparently is very smooth, and it's definitely something to keep your eye on if you are into the cyberpunk scene. But
Wait, is the demo free? Because I might look into it now.
So I don't know if the demo is still a thing. It was during Steam's Autumn Festival. They had a bunch of demos
Oh.
available, so I don't know if it's still there. That's my thing. Like, I don't even know if I can still play the demo. I have it installed, but I don't know if I can still play it. But because I'm pretty sure that's over with. But yeah, it comes out Tuesday. And so also Tuesday, The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel 4 for PS4. All right, guys. So I don't know much about this franchise, and I'm going to butcher names. Just going to throw that out there. So the Erebonian Empire is on the brink of all-out war. Taking place shortly after the ending of Trails of Cold Steel 3, the heroes of Class 7 find themselves against the full force of the Empire in an attempt to stop its path of total domination. Further, the hero of the Erebonian Civil War in Class 7's instructor, Rain Schwarzer, has gone missing. Now the students of Class 7, old and new, must unite with heroes from all over the continent to create the only chance the world has to be spared from total destruction. So this is the newest JRPG in the Trail series, which is a sub-series of the Legend of Heroes series. And so this is, I mean, if you're into games like Fire Emblem or, this franchise, the next big game is coming to the US. It came out in Japan a couple of years ago, and now it's finally getting a Western release on PS4, and then will also release on Switch and PC early next year. And so, yeah, that's for you guys. And so that about wraps up the games coming this week. But we're getting some cool games next week, this next upcoming week, which will be Watch Dogs. But getting into the gaming news. So first up, Rainbow Six Siege officially may be coming to Xbox Game Pass, but it is all but confirmed at this point. So Game Pass's Twitter has basically been setting this up for the longest time now, like multiple days. So originally they posted a picture with no context. It was a picture of a castle in seemingly like a siege of said castle. And there were 6 rainbows above the siege. So Rainbow Six Siege, and then yeah.
I feel like if that comes out on Game Pass with all the Xbox people that do play Rainbow, and that I've actually bought it, they're gonna get pretty heated from it.
I mean, that's just how Game Pass works. I mean, you can
Right.
buy it, but I don't know. I think it's a great thing. I mean, it's coming. Like they've also posted multiple things. Like they've posted the Rainbow Six Siege logo on their Twitter. Like all sorts of stuff. It's coming. We don't know exactly when, but probably maybe even today. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is big because basically the reason that Rainbow is still thriving is because of, well, one, the esports community, and two, they keep coming out with new operators, and that's how they make money, through the microtransactions. And so I don't think they're really losing any. I don't think Ubisoft is losing anything bringing this to Game Pass because it lets people play it for free or with their subscription, and then, they get the basic, and then as they get hooked and sucked in, then they can, purchase more operators, do that sort of thing, and Ubisoft continues to make money because I don't think there are going to be too many people out there that are going to be jumping into Rainbow Six Siege anymore. I think we'll get some people on PS5 because now that Siege is coming to Series X and PS5, I think there'll be some new people jumping into the ecosystem there. But overall, probably not going to see a whole lot of new people jumping into this because it is a 5-year-old game. But with this, I mean, with Game Pass being able, people don't have to shell out any money for it, and then they get suckered in and maybe they do shell out some money. And so I think this is all in all a great thing for Siege. I think it's a great thing for Game Pass, and it is a great game. And so I'm happy to see it come to Game Pass. But yeah. So next up, also in Microsoft news, Phil Spencer was interviewed about whether Microsoft needs to bring future Bethesda games to PS5. So basically, during the interview, he was asked by Kotaku's Stefan Totolio, I don't know if I pronounced that right, he was asked, is it possible to recoup a $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation? To which Phil Spencer quickly replied, yes. But then he paused. It is noted that he paused. And he said, and I quote, "I don't want to be flip about that. This deal was not done to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was how do we keep other players from playing these games. We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to go play games." When I think about where people are going to be playing and the number of devices that we had, and we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass as our console base, we don't have to, and our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means. And I will say that is what he said, whatever that means, not myself. And so, back a few weeks ago when the Bethesda acquisition was announced, I predicted that Elder Scrolls and Starfield were coming to PlayStation because they would sell like hotcakes, and I think it makes more sense financially to do those. Whereas Doom, Wolfenstein, Dishonored, those games would all be exclusive. Now, I don't know. It seems like Phil Spencer is going that way. And there's been a huge argument where it's like you don't spend $7.5 billion and then bring your games to other systems. And, I mean, there are Microsoft games that are on PlayStation systems. I mean, Minecraft is owned by Microsoft, but that was also published on PlayStation before they were Mojang was acquired. Same with The Outer Worlds. There's another one I'm trying to think of. Wasteland 3. I know there's more, but there's a bunch of games that were like kind of in a limbo. And like the newest Bethesda games, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, are going to be on PS4 and PS5. And that's because that's already been confirmed. They already had a contract for timed exclusivity. As for the others, we don't know. And now I'm kind of going back on it a little bit. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Trace?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't focus like on that stuff as much.
So, I mean, it's a big question mark because I don't think there is a...
There's not a right answer or a wrong answer. It just goes off of, like, your personal beliefs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a win-win situation for Microsoft. If they keep it exclusive, if they say, okay, Starfield is exclusive to Xbox, that will get people to buy their systems, buy into the ecosystem. If they say, oh, well, here's Starfield on PS5, it might not sell systems, but they'll earn a bunch of money because that's going to sell like hotcakes on PS5.
Right.
Like they're going to earn
more people buying it.
Yeah, exactly. You have a whole nother platform. They're still earning that chuck and change. Like PlayStation gets 30%, but they're going to get 70% of that revenue. And, that's millions of dollars right there that they could potentially reap. However, they're losing out on, the exclusivity, potentially getting more people into that ecosystem. And so, but either way, they're still making money. They're making money either way, and it's just a guess to see which one will be more money, and it's not something you can calculate. And so, I don't think there is a lose situation. I think Microsoft is doing well right now with the Bethesda buyout, at least in terms of that. And so, but we will continue to theorize until it happens. And so, next up, Marvel's Avengers DLC and next-gen versions have been delayed. So the first DLC big edition, Kate Bishop, the newest character, was supposed to come this month, but now just making sure that it's ready, it's going to be pushed out of October, and no new date was given, as well as the PS5 and Xbox Series launch will now come sometime next year to, quote, ensure that we give our team the time to deliver a next-gen experience showcasing all that this game is meant to be.
Wait, are they pushing the, consoles out themselves or just that game?
Just the game.
Oh, I thought they were pushing it out again. I was like, oh, that's
no, just the game. Now the consoles are coming out November 10th and 12th respectively, so they're hitting that launch. That's not gonna get delayed, but because one, Xboxes are already out in the wild, and there's rumors that there are PS5s out in the wild. Don't know about confirmations yet, but apparently some rappers have received PS5s. But I don't know. So next up, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I was excited. I'm a little upset at Bakel for not being here because I knew he would want to talk about this. We've got some more rumors about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition because it has been rated in South Korea. So originally this was leaked back last month, and supposedly was supposed to come out this month, but it was then reported that they wanted to spend more time basically improving the original Mass Effect, which is definitely old now. Like it is definitely the hardest Mass Effect to play because it has a lot of outdated gameplay, and it is for that reason that they wanted to apparently take more time to polish that and really just make it, more playable in 2020 or now 2021 because it has reportedly been delayed to 2021. But we have a rating from South Korea, and so it still has not been officially announced. This could all just be one big elaborate ruse, but we're getting more and more confirmation that EA has got a Mass Effect remaster, and I'm very excited about it. Have you ever played the Mass Effect games, Trace?
No, it sounds like a good game though.
You uncultured swine. Mass Effect 2 is one of the greatest games ever made, and the Mass Effect trilogy is the best trilogy of games ever made, and I will not falter on that. Closely followed by the Arkham trilogy, but yeah, fantastic games. Very excited to be able to jump in.
I've seen gameplay of them.
Again, the first one does not play well anymore, but 2 and 3, and like the story of 1 is still really, really good. Like it's by no means a bad game. It just, hopefully these rumors are true, and we're gonna get a much more clean version of the first one because it is difficult to play. I recently played it just a few weeks ago. Again, I started replaying it, and it was rough. It was definitely rough. And so seeing it touched up more, that would be absolutely phenomenal. And I will not, I'll not be saddened by that at all. But then finally, the launch lineups for Xbox Series have been officially announced by Microsoft. And so we have 30 confirmed games for launch day. Now, keep in mind, they also have confirmed that thousands of games are going to be available via backwards compatibility. But these are games coming specifically, they're going to have specific series enhanced versions of these games. And so we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is available via smart delivery. So if you buy it on Xbox One, you will get the upgraded version for free. Borderlands 3, same thing. Bright Memory 1.0, which is it's the earlier version of Bright Memory Infinite, which is a game that was shown off at the May showcase, which was, I believe, the first Series X game to ever really be shown off. Like the first Series X gameplay that we ever saw was Bright Memory Infinite. I might be wrong. It was one of the first, if not the first. But this is the earlier version of that. Bright Memory Infinite will be coming soon. I need to check this out. It's out now on PC. And I need to check it out because it looks absolutely phenomenal. But that is coming at launch. Cuisine Royale, again with smart delivery. Dead by Daylight, which has smart delivery, but is also available with Game Pass for free. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, because we love Virgil. Dirt 5, again, smart delivery. Enlisted. Evergate, The Falconeer, with smart delivery. Fortnite, which, it's free, so there you go. You can play Fortnite. Woo, okay, have fun. Forza Horizon 4, which, again, Game Pass, smart delivery. Gears 5, Gears Tactics, and Grounded, all same thing, Game Pass and smart delivery. King Oddball, Maneater, and Manifold Garden, both with smart delivery. 2K21, Observer System Redux, Ori and the Will of the Wisps with Game Pass and smart delivery. Planet Coaster with smart delivery. Sea of Thieves, Tetris Effect Connected, The Tourist, all with Game Pass and smart delivery. War Thunder with smart delivery. Warhammer Chaos Bane Slayer Edition, Watch Dogs Legion, WRC 9 FIA World Rally Championship, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Yes, Your Grace. All 4 of those with smart delivery.
See, a thing that I feel like is gonna mess that whole thing up. Like well, not mess it up, but they're gonna lose a lot of money with like the backwards compatible games. And like if you already have the game purchased, it'll just put it on your new Xbox. I feel like that'll just mess it up. Reason being is because they're gonna lose a lot of money instead of being able to buy it and then having to rebuy it.
I mean, who wants to do that though? who is gonna buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Xbox One and then say, I don't know, like, because you know it comes out on launch, so I don't think someone getting a launch Series X will do that. But like, say they get a Series X for Christmas, who's gonna buy another copy of Assassin's Creed Valhalla? They just got it a month ago. No one's gonna do that. And like, yes, there are people that are gonna do that, but it's just so much more consumer friendly. And this isn't an Xbox specific thing. Most of these are also gonna be backwards with PlayStation. PlayStation is doing a similar thing. Not quite as much, but like Marvel's Avengers being one of those that when the next gen version does come out, now coming sometime next year, people with the PS4 version will be able to upgrade for free. And so it's not always the case. Like 2K21 is one of the biggest because you have to pay more to get that upgrade. Call of Duty is also like that. Control is like that, where you have to pay extra. It is not free. Although 2K21 is a little bit of a special case because it is actually supposedly a completely different game. So the Series X and PS5 versions are actually going to be different than the last gen versions that have been out for a month now. And so they're going to utilize more enhanced AI. Last week it was announced that the adaptive triggers on the DualSense for the PS5 will then be able to they react to the tiredness of the player, so it becomes harder to push down the triggers to sprint as you use the player more. And so a bunch of different features that were not in the original are going to be added to this one. But yeah.
Right. I don't know. I feel like going back to what you were saying, why don't they just update the games? Like the last time I was on here, they just need to update the like sports games and not come out with brand new ones every time.
I'm definitely very interested to see how 2K21 is, like, you know, they say that it's a fundamentally different game. I'm interested to see just how different it is, because you know, if it's just, you know, the triggers are different, you know, I don't really care. Like, that's cool. Buying? Yeah, that's cool, but not like, okay, you know, how much are they going to change it? Because really, these first games out of the gate of a new generation, those are usually regarded really well because they use the new hardware to their advantage. But with, like, 2K21 did not review well. However, this is going to be different, and so I would imagine they would get, you know, different scores. But we'll see, you know, the things that people didn't like about the last gen version, are they big enough? Like, will they carry over to this version, or are they going to be, you know, non-existent? And so it'll be interesting. But I don't think it's anything we can definitively say right now. But it is still an issue of whether or not they can innovate. If they do, cool. If not, I mean, I'm not surprised because it is. It's a yearly thing that doesn't really need to be a yearly thing, but it is because people buy it and it still sells. Like, they make billions and billions of dollars off of this. And so they're going to keep doing it as long as they keep getting that money. But it's also interesting because 2K21 is the only game on this list that you can only play on a Series X. Every single one of these games is on Xbox One or PC. And so 2K21, and that's not even like, I mean, it's just because it's a next gen version. Like, you can technically play it on other consoles as well, but it's not, you know, it's a little bit different. And so the biggest thing about this list is that there's no killer app. I mean, the original Xbox had Halo. The Xbox 360, honestly, I thought their launch lineup was kind of weak. They had like Project Gotham 3, or Project Gotham Racing 3. And then other than that, I mean, they had some other like kind of cult classics. The Xbox One had Rise and Dead Rising 3. but yeah, there's no big game here. Like, I love Xbox. I say this as an Xbox fan, but when I talk about the launch of the Series X, I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited to play Gears Tactics, because that is their biggest game. That is their only first-party game launching, and it came out on PC in April. They frankly don't have anything. They were 100% counting on Halo Infinite, and then it got delayed. And so now they have nothing. Meanwhile, the PS5, which people argue is not, like, people argue that it's, it's just as bad or worse, whatever. They have Astro's Playroom, which is built in. You get it for free. They have Demon's Souls. They have Destruction All-Stars. They have Spider-Man Miles Morales. I feel like there's one I'm forgetting. I mean, they technically have Godfall that's not first party, but it is exclusive. And so those are 5 big games. And a lot of people be like, oh, well, Miles Morales is a glorified DLC and Demon's Souls is a remake. There's still games you can play that you can't play anywhere else. You have to play with the PS. I mean, granted, Miles Morales is on PS4 as well, but they're new games. These aren't new games. They're like, you've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which you can play on PlayStation, Bright Memory, which you can play on PC, a bunch of games I don't even know of, the special edition of Devil May Cry 5, which is mostly not new, and you can play it on PS5. Yakuza. Yakuza is probably the biggest game on this list because it is on PS4, but it's not coming to PS5 until March. And so this is probably the closest thing they have to a killer app, but it's a JRPG. It's not exactly something that a lot of the Western audience will really care about. They should, because JRPGs are great, but it's not going to sell consoles. And so, yeah, this is a disappointing lineup. I mean, it's got a variety. They're just mostly games that have already been out.
Right, they're just remakes or, like, updates.
Yeah. And, like, cool. That's awesome. Like, you can play Gears 5 on 120 hertz, but most people don't have 120 hertz TV. So it's like, the most of the stuff, like, it'll run better, yes. And if you upgraded from a 2013 Xbox One, the original, oh, yeah, this is incredible. But
it's groundbreaking.
But for the people that own a 1X, like myself, I have absolutely no incentive to get this. Especially now that, like, with a PC. Like, I can play every single one of these games on my PC. Every single one of them. Except, technically, 2K21, the updated version. But
I feel like there would be a way you could. Eventually, there's probably going to be a way.
Well, I was curious about that. If they were going to maybe update the game with these new things. Like, update the PC version. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly what their plan is for the PC version. I don't keep too tight a look on 2K, so maybe they've said something. I don't know. But, yeah, it's personally, like, I've heard people say, like, this is a really cool lineup. And, like, again, if you had the original Xbox, I think, you're right. Otherwise, for the people that have been in the Xbox ecosystem and are, like, more of the dedicated fan base that keep up with things is nothing to salivate over. Like, right. I canceled my Series X pre-orders because, frankly, I can't afford it with COVID. But, I have no reason to get an Xbox. I will, with the Bethesda buyout. That's a lot of incentive. Halo Infinite is cool. It's coming to PC, but, like, even with all that, but I will eventually get a Series X. I don't see a need to right now because there's nothing on it. I mean, nothing that I can't play anywhere else. And I get that Microsoft is still making their money either way, because if I'm buying it on PC, they're still making money. If I'm buying it on Xbox One, they're still making money. But it's certainly interesting that they have switched to this ecosystem rather than pushing consoles. And so, yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. So,
wait, so have you ever, or like I should say, did you pre-order the PS5?
Yes, I pre-ordered that baby. And so
I kind of figured.
November 12th. Cannot wait. I'm going to play Demon's Souls and Miles Morales. Those are my big boys. I mean, I'm going to play all of them. Like, I have Demon's Souls pre-ordered. I have Miles Morales pre-ordered. I have Destruction All-Stars pre-ordered. I have Sackboy. That's the other one. I have Sackboy pre-ordered.
So you're just pre-ordering all the games.
Yeah. I haven't pre-ordered Godfall yet, but I'm actually going to get that on PC because I can, and so I'm going to. And so I want that 144 hertz. But so that's just kind of, but otherwise, yeah, I would get
One
Godfall
thing
on
that I was
PS5.
thinking, another exclusive game that would kind of be cool if they put on the PS5 would be Fall Guys, because they did release it like towards like after they announced the PS5 was coming out and everything.
Well, it's
So
backwards compatible, so
it is.
you can play it on the PS5.
Oh,
99% of PS4 games are backwards compatible on PS5. In fact, they've released a list of the 10 games that are not. And
wait. So you're telling me that Skater XL might be backwards compatible?
I'm saying it is backwards compatible.
Ooh, okay.
And so, yeah. But that's because basically Xbox said, hey, our backwards compatibility is dope. And then all the PlayStation fans were like, why can't we have that? And so Sony
Right.
was like, okay, fine. And so there you go. That's how it's a thing. So, but yeah, basically Xbox Xbox kind of peer pressured PlayStation into backwards compatibility. Otherwise, PlayStation wouldn't have done it. And that's a
Right.
fact. But yeah, pretty much every single PS4 game will be playable on PS5. Like I said, we know of 10. They were very very politician like on how they worded it. So it's like I'm not 100% convinced that the 10 games they listed are the only 10 that aren't backwards compatible, but it very well could be. They were just like,
Right.
here's a list of games that are not backwards compatible, but they didn't clarify if this was all of them. But they
Right, so therefore they could have like a few more that are backwards
Yes.
compatible. They're just not saying anything.
But they did say 99%. So that's an overwhelming majority. And
Right.
the 10 games that were not were like small indie games or like games with like accessories, stuff that makes it more difficult. So like I said, like Skater XL, very, 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 very low chance that it is not backwards compatible. But yeah. So it's just they worded it a little weird, which has been their entire game plan on PS5 marketing.
Right.
And so, but getting into the main topic, it is Halloween. I discussed my Saw addiction, but let's talk about video games because I've been playing some horror games. I've been playing Amnesia Rebirth, which is really, really fun because that just came out a couple days ago. But I want to discuss our favorite horror games of all time because we are in the spooky season. And so I figured, let's talk about some spooky games. And Trace, I figured I'd let you go first and talk about some of your favorites.
All right, so I don't really have favorites, but these are some that I've picked out over like the years of me playing. One of them is Dead by Daylight, just because you get everything that you would expect out of the game. Like, I mean, you basically fix generators to escape. It is what it is. Like, it's perfect. And then Left 4 Dead. I've been playing it since I was little, and I just love the game.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight's a really, really, really cool game that I just got into this month because it was free with Stadia Pro. I mean, I've had it for a long time because I've had it free with Game Pass, and I've
Right.
had it through various other things, but I've never checked it out. I've seen plenty of gameplay, but I haven't played it myself. And so, but yeah, I'll agree. I'm having so much fun with it. It is definitely a fun time, and it's a fun multiplayer horror experience. And kind of in that multiplayer sense, Left 4 Dead as well. I mean, Left 4 Dead 2 was my childhood, and I think it's funny that you played it too. I mean, like, 'cause that game doesn't die,
Right.
even though they said that they would make a Left 4 Dead 3, and then they freaking lied. But
I mean, you
it's
never
nice.
know. They still could be working on.
I think I'm trying to remember. I feel like a while ago they said it was dead, but
It's not dead. You still have a lot of people that play it. It's just
no.
on
I'm
smaller-
saying they canceled 3.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not dead. They just released new content for it a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, they just released a new campaign for Left 4 Dead 2. But
That's cool.
yeah. So, but yeah, Left 4 Dead is absolutely phenomenal. The first one was really good. Then the second one came out and just kind of made the first one irrelevant. But yeah, Left 4 Dead games absolutely phenomenal. If you're watching / listening and you have not played Left 4 Dead 2, my God, what is wrong with you? Like,
You really need to try it.
It is probably one of the best games, period, of all time. And I'm kind of mad at myself for not thinking of it when I was thinking of my favorite horror games, because that's definitely a really, really good choice. It's just super fun co-op. I mean, one of the first games, if not the first game, no, I think it was one of the first games I ever got on my PC, back in like 2012, was Left 4 Dead. And I would play with my brother-in-law and his brother and my sister and the friend, like basically anybody who had the game I would play with, and it would be so much fun. And before that, I'd be playing over at neighbors' houses. I'd be playing at my brother-in-law's, like before I even owned the game. For years, I would go over to my neighbor's house and we would play Left 4 Dead, and it would just
I'm not gonna lie, I think you're the one that got me into Left 4 Dead, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, and I used to be scared of it. I remember when it was before I owned it, when I first saw gameplay of Left 4 Dead, I had nightmares that night because I used to be real bad with horror stuff, and now look at me. Actually, I realized how far I'd come because back in the day I couldn't watch Grey's Anatomy because it had real surgery, and anytime it like showed like innards and stuff, I was like it made me queasy. But then I started watching The Walking Dead, and I was like, oh well, it's fake, like this is all like zombie guts and stuff, so it's like I'm fine. And then but I still stayed away from all those shows because I thought I was okay. And now I'm watching Saw, which is just like bleh, and I'm fine. And so I don't know when the switch happened. I don't know when I just became okay with gore and all that stuff. But yeah, we're cool with it. I guess realistic gore, because for some reason my brain could tell the difference between realistic like surgery stuff versus, oh, this is just a guy getting his face ripped off. That's fine. Like, I don't know. For some reason my stomach only reacted to the real stuff that is normal and is not painful in any way because you're under anesthesia or something like that. But the real painful stuff, I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. And so
it's fake. It's not gonna do anything to me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I got high tolerance for that now, but I didn't used to. I used to be a real scaredy cat, and now I watch all kinds of stuff and play all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I want to talk about a few of my games because they're freaking awesome. And so, right off the bat, number one, gotta talk about Outlast, because Outlast, hell of a game. I talked to somebody who never played it the other day, never even heard of Outlast. Oh, and she calls herself a gamer, and I was like, you can't now, because it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the sheer, don't tell me you don't know what Outlast is. Trace.
Wait, give me a minute.
No.
You know what? I do.
Gosh.
I do know what it is. Because I remember playing it at your house.
Yeah, I was about to say, you better know Outlast. It is so good. It is probably the best horror game of this generation, at least. And yeah, it's the sheer sense of dread you get while playing that game, being completely powerless and just having to run for your life. The amount of jump scares, nuts. The amount of just pure terror it induces. Like, it is the scariest game I have ever played, easily. It's so good. It does such a great job of providing that atmosphere and all of just true horror. It is the truest horror game I've ever played, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I played some of 2. I never beat it. It was the same way. I just, again, any returning listeners, I'm terrible at commitment. Y'all know this, and so maybe one day I'll get it. Definitely before the Outlast Trials comes out. I will play Outlast. I'll finish Outlast 2, but they're so good. Just all of the Outlast games, they're amazing, and I've played the first one multiple times, and I love it. And
I think that's the one that I played with you. I can't remember though.
Yeah, that's the one, because I didn't get 2 until much later. But
then yeah, it was 1.
Yeah, but so good. And then we got to talk about my babies, my Resident Evil babies. I love all the Resident Evil games, but if I had to pick, my favorite, I am picking 2 because I have to. But I'm saying 2 games, but one of them does happen to be Resident Evil 2. And so this game, I mean, it won Game of the Year in some places last year, Yeah, it was last year. I had to think about it. But I'm talking about the remake, not necessarily the original. The original I never played, so I can't say. But the remake just it did such a great job. I mean, it's harder to do horror in third person because you're not as immersed. But gosh darn it, they really did a great job of making it scary still, because it was definitely, I mean, just the whole concept of Mr. X, this thing, because you can fight back in Resident Evil 2, unlike Outlast.
Right.
You shoot things. Mr. X, you can't. You can't fight back. You have to run. And so just the sheer terror of running away from this man that you can't do anything for, because you kind of you're feeling okay. You take down some zombies, like you're doing all right. Like you're like, okay,
Right, you're doing good.
I'm a badass. But then this boy walks up and you're just like, no, I'm not. I am weak. I am a twig, and he is going to snap me. And
It's just one of those, I can't stay here at this moment.
Yeah, and it is terrifying. And it's like, I'm the type of player, when I play horror games, is I try to make it, like, I laugh at things. I'm just like, I'll get scared, and then I'll be like, ha, that was a good one. And so I try to turn it into comedy. And so towards the end, I would try to be like, I try to exploit him a little bit. Like, the amount of times there's a room, players will know which one I'm talking about. Have you played 2?
I think so.
Okay, so the library, the one where you have to, like, move the bookshelves? Yeah. The amount of times I would run around that room and he would just chase me. And every time he got close, I would just, like, go up a ladder or just, like, jump down somewhere and just have this dude run circles. Like, I definitely messed with him quite a few times. But also because I knew that was the only place I knew I could do that. And so I didn't want to go somewhere. Then it turned out to be a dead end. And then he take my badonkadonks and just rip them in two. And so, but hell of a lot of fun. And then my other Resident Evil game, I love Resident Evil 7. This first one in first person, so you have more of that atmosphere. It is absolutely terrifying, especially because it's fully playable in VR, and I've played it in VR, and it is absolutely horrifying. And my girlfriend at the time decided to try to scare me while I was in it, and that is why we are no longer together. That's not it, but so it is an absolutely terrifying game, and it is why I am super excited for the sequel. I don't think they've said whether or not they're going to have VR support for this one, but I hope so, because it is horrifying. There's so many jump scares. What?
That looks like an amazing game.
It is. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is definitely one of the best horror games I've ever played. And it might be one of the best games I've played this generation. It has a really awesome story. It has a really, really cool vibe to it. The ending, I know I was so fed up with it by the end of the game that, like, that you run past a lot of enemies and stuff, and the whole staple of Resident Evil is that supplies are limited. You have to conserve your bullets and your resources, all of that. I remember when I got to the end of that game, I just ran past everybody. I didn't give a shit. I was just like, no, scared. I was screaming because there were dogs and there were creatures and there were things running at me, screaming at me, jumping at me. I was not having any of it. And so it is a truly horrifying game. I will always remember the one boss who sucked. I don't remember like the specifics of her, but the setting will be etched into my brain. I think she was the mom, if I remember correctly, but it was in the garden area, and she would like hide and jump out at you and do stupid that character. Her whole character, I'm pretty sure she was the mom. Just anytime she was in the game, I was terrified. Like, she just is a psychopath. But, yeah, it's definitely an amazing game and well worth anybody's time. And so, I know these are all more modern games, but I'm 21. What do you expect? Trace over here hasn't played jack shit, as he's made it perfectly clear today. And so,
I've played some.
And so, also, there are plenty of older games that I do appreciate, like older horror games specifically. That's why I say this. I respect Resident Evil 1 just the gameplay's outdated for me, and I still get spooks from it. Like I've been scared by Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 0 and the older Resident Evil games. It's just the gameplay's a little outdated for me. I still respect it, and I think back at the time it's really cool. I think it just speaks to how spoiled we are now. We have the technology to make these amazing games. It kind of retroactively makes older games less amazing, and so I still enjoy older games, just not quite as much as I do with the newer games that take advantage of what we've learned since then. And so that's why, my favorite horror games of all time, they're not the best horror games of all time. They're my personal favorites. They are more recent because I enjoy gameplay that works better. And so, but yeah, they're all fun horror games. And again, Left 4 Dead, Dead by Daylight, both amazing horror games as well that I truly appreciate. And with that, we'll get into the games that we've been playing this week. I've been playing a fair amount of games. So I jumped back into Hades earlier. I've talked a lot about Hades on this podcast, and I'm going to try to keep it brief. My God, it's so much fun. Apparently, I'm pretty good at it because I've played less than everybody else that I know, but I've gotten further than anybody else. And so apparently, I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty good at this game. But the shield is OP. That's all I got to say. And so if you are listening out there, if you do not have Hades, get Hades. And if you do, get the shield as quickly as possible and use the shield bash because get the shield bash and get Dionysus's hangover, because that combo is absolutely deadly because you just level it up. I got it up to level 9. That was the best run I ever had by a mile. It was amazing. But get Hades. That's all I have to say. It's on Switch. It's on PC. Odds are you have one of those in your home. Just freaking get it's only $25, guys. Just get the game. It's so good. It's so good. Like, if Cyberpunk wasn't coming out, I damn near might make it Game of the Year. Like, I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima was also amazing. But, like, it's definitely up there. It is definitely up there. It is such a phenomenal, fantastic game that I can't get enough of. And, yeah, it's great. Next up, I played some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, Steve came out last week, so I've been playing some more of him. I had some friends over this weekend, so we were all playing. Playing Smash while not sober is definitely a treat. It is definitely fun. Yeah, I've never claimed to be a good Smash player. I'm definitely not. So it's fun when you have an excuse, But, yeah, it's always playing Smash. I love Smash. Played some more Dead by Daylight, of course, which, like I said, I can't get enough of that game. I've been slowly purchasing DLC because I continue to love it. And so I got the Halloween DLC, so I've been playing as little as Michael Myers, and I got the Flesh and Mud DLC, which has the Hag and Ace Viscotti. I know Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are the other ones, but like I recently purchased the I forget what it's called, but it's the one with the doctor and whichever other survivor it is. Haven't tried them out yet. I'll probably try them out tomorrow, but yeah, I can't get enough of this game, so I'm just buying up DLC and having a good time. But although I'm getting to the point now, so I was really good for a new player, so like I didn't really have much problem winning. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm getting with more experienced players, and I'm not faring so well. But I'm kind of, there's a little bit of a steep learning curve, basically because this game's been out for 4 years, and so you either have people who haven't played at all or people who have played for like hundreds of hours. And so I've gotten to the point where I've gotten with those pros, and so I'm like nothing compared to them because I have like 13 hours or something like that. And so yeah, it's gotten difficult, but we are still having fun. And so I played a little bit more Baldur's Gate 3, but I rage quit because it's dumb. I respect the hell out of that game. I love it. I think it's going to be really cool when it's finished, but it's really buggy right now, and it's really hard, and I don't like it. And so I stopped. But I played a little bit of it. And yesterday, I think? Yeah, yesterday, I finally picked up Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I was planning on getting it at launch, then I changed my mind because I was broke. Then I got less broke and said, fuck it. And so I played some Super Mario 64. That's what I forgot to do. I was going to play a little more of that today. Instead, I started watching Saw. But I played some Super Mario 64. It's fun. This is the most bare bones package I've ever seen, though. Like, literally, hold on. Literally, so this was a cool thing, like the original All-Stars. They had cool new things, like different stuff they added to it. So, like, the packaging, right? This is a $60 game. That compiles 3 older games. The only thing you get for it is you get the soundtracks with it. I mean, you open it up, you'd think maybe there'd be some cool artwork or something. There ain't nothing. There's some like cool stuff that's like in this little packaging. It's like a big it's like an FU. Like they have the indentations for like a manual or something like that, and they didn't put anything in it. They're just like, no, nah, you don't get nothing. Just the cartridge, barely that. You know, and it's like you start up the game. There's no cool little, like, I don't know, like collage, or not collage, but montage or anything like that. It's just like, okay, here you go. The main menu is kind of cool. Like, it gives a little brief, like, release date history and, like, brief little not synopsis, but brief little description of the games. And it's kind of like, okay, that's cool. But then they're just, like, they're emulations of the games. It's just, like, it's cool because I've never played any of these. The biggest one, the one I'm most excited about, is Super Mario Galaxy, but the OCD in me needs to play them in order, even though they don't have any continuity. But I'm really excited to play Galaxy because I've never played. But it's like, they made it available for a limited time, so you only have 6 months to get this game before it's gone forever. And then it's like, they really just whipped this up in a couple months and said, okay, ship it. And it's so lazy. Like, we know they're good games. Like, that's fine. But they didn't add anything new to them. They actually took away inverted controls for Super Mario Sunshine, and you can't change it, which is ridiculous, because that's how you originally played. So all these people who played Sunshine are going to be like, what the heck is this? And it's like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a little bit of a first world problem. Like, I'm getting these games. Like, I'm getting what I paid for. It's $60 for 3 games that I haven't played. But, like, I understand why people are frustrated, especially people who have played all these games and, want some cool, special new content, even if it's not a lot, or at least something cool with the frickin' package. But no, they're just like, there you go. That's it.
You're not getting nothing.
Yeah. And so it's all right. It's a solid all right. But, yeah. I'm still excited to play because it's Mario, and Mario's great. It's just everything surrounding the games is bad. But the games themselves are good. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I've been playing some Amnesia Rebirth. It's a lot of fun. I've been really into spooky stuff lately. I don't know why I feel so festive. Maybe it's because, we've been cooped up all year, and so, like, I know I'm not going to go out for Halloween because I'm not stupid and I'm, actually wearing a mask and trying to stop this pandemic. And so, like, my way of celebrating is watching and playing a lot of spooky stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, I still like Halloween, but I'm not one of those people that, like, goes all out. But this is the most all out I've went this year. In the last week, I've watched, like, 8 horror movies. Like, I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2013 one, Leatherface, Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 version, and then I've watched Saw 2, 3, 4, and I'm halfway through 5. And that's just been the past few days. So, yeah, I've been doing that. And then I've been playing, like I said, Amnesia and Dead by Daylight. And they're fun. They're scary. I like getting spooked. The movies aren't really scary. In fact, they're kind of bad, but, like, they're enjoyable enough. Although the first Texas Massacre, that one's just bad. Like, that one's just not even good. The rest of them are bad but enjoyable. Like, I have fun watching them, even though they're not the greatest. Although, I will make the argument that a lot of the Saw movies are pretty good. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I have fun with the Saw movies. They're fun. Especially 2. I really like 2. But, anyway, Amnesia Rebirth, it's really fun. I'm hoping to beat it today, but we'll see what happens. Just kind of depends. I heard it's a 7-hour game. I'm 3 hours in, so I'm like, I can do this. So I'm hoping to beat it today, which I'll be streaming on Twitch, Panda Master Twitch. Go do that shit. Anyway, Trace, what you been playing?
Me, I've been playing Among Us, just like probably everybody else. I mean, it.
Like
I
our
don't.
congresswoman. Shout out to AOC.
I don't know the hype around it, but it's a fun game, if that makes sense.
What do you mean you don't know the hype around it?
Like everybody sits there and they go, "Oh, like you should get it, you should get it." I wouldn't say it's worth the $5 that you bought, like you pay for it.
It's free on mobile.
Right, but I have it on my PC.
Yeah.
It's not worth the $5 you pay for it with everything. But I mean, it, a game's a game. They're gonna charge money to get it. So like, I mean, it is what it is. I've been playing some Warzone. It hasn't been recent. Like, I play it once in a while when I get bored of just any game in general. Um, Skater XL, just normal. Need for Speed Payback. I've played that a few times this week. I haven't really like tried to beat it
Mm.
because it's just a game that I'll play and then I'll put off and then I'll play and then I'll put off. Um, Rocket League, since I've got it, I've probably played it like 6 or 7 times, and that's just another bounce back game when I
Mm-hmm.
get bored.
Gotcha. All right, fun stuff. And I can already answer for Bakel. He's been playing Rocket League because he never not plays Rocket League. I doubt he's played anything else. It's usually just Rocket League. Occasionally Grounded, but I'm pretty sure it's just been Rocket League this week. That's been actually that's a lie. I know he played Smash because he was up there here last weekend, so, or I should say down here. So, Smash and Rocket League. Those are Bakel's answers. But yeah. So with that, we are gonna get out of here this week. Thank you so much for watching. And so, like I said, this guy over here, that's been Trace. Thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure. And, I'm Landon Plumley, and we will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.